welcome back. Sorry if you can hear this incessantly loud pigeon. He's very loud. Right, despite what I said last time about, yeah, we're going to start putting some houses down, we're not going to do that. I'm going to talk about the houses that I've made. I'm just going to hide that backdrop, because there are some other little tricks and bits that I didn't talk about that I might talk about. So this one, the dome, very simple. Shift A, mesh, UV sphere, right there. Shift right click just so we can see where the object's going to turn up. So right, Shift A, mesh, UV sphere. Let's move it over here and scale it up. And then what I did is very simply into X-ray, tab, select vertices, and then I just selected these ones. And remember, when you delete a vertex, it's also going to delete these sets of polygons because it's not attached to anything anymore. Vertices, and then that's it. Bosh. There's your dome roof. Put it, make it the right size, and hide the naff edge like that. All right. So that's the domes. What other little tricks did I do? Yes, these little things here. So this is very simply Shift A, mesh, cube, and then let's just move it so we can see it and scale it so we can see it, and then just over here in your modifiers add an array, and it will default one of the size of this to the right on the x-axis, and in this case I had quite a few, well, about 12 of them. So just because this is saying move this object 1 times its size on the x-axis in the positive, which is that way, and then just shift drag that, so that's 2, and then use that to add as many as you want, put them in the right place, scale it down, bosh, and then just in between, well, you know how to move things, GY. You'll get used to which scale you're in and which scale you're going to be able to move things. It takes a little bit of time, especially so if you came from Cinema 4D, because Z is going forwards and backwards, Y is up and down, X is left and right, Z is go backwards and forwards, but in Blender Z is go up and down, so I've had to retrain my brain. So that's how you get these little cube decorations. These doors, these little labyrinth type doors, if I just hide those, so what I did for that is I just selected the edges of the door, so there, and that side, that's it, and then Shift D, enter P to separate it as a selection, tab into object mode, see if we can select it, and then again add a skin, and then tab, press A to select all the vertices even though we can't see them, Control A to scale it, and just scale it way down. And in this instance it's done an awful job, so I would likely try it somewhere else. If not, there's another way of doing it if that's not going to work, because you can apply that once in object mode, and then we can see that it's all gone a bit wrong here. That behavior can be very erratic. I don't understand why it has to be. It's all mathematical. Why on earth does it think, oh yeah, there's blatantly a triangle here? No. So there's another way of doing that. So X, delete that. I'm going to press 1, and I'm going to need to see the wireframe. So is that the door? Where's the door? Where's the door? Let me get a vertex. Yep, okay. So I would shift right click, put the cursor there, Shift A, get into object mode first, Shift A, mesh, plane, and then they always come in needing RX90, rotating on the x-axis by 90 degrees, and then I'm going to scale it on the X, GX, and just make that very central like this, and then it's yeah, because it's the 3D cursor's on magnet snapped to this surface, the plane is on the same level as these polygons, which is why it's doing that. So what we want to do now is make the rest of the shape. So if the door frame, I'm going to GX, move that on the X because I want to make some frame shapes. Okay, For this, I'm bringing it forward, GY. I can't be dealing with that. And now I'm going to put tab into edit mode. I'm going to put a loop cut here and a loop cut here. And now, because this is a plane, we don't need to go into X-ray because there's only one plane. We can just select these two and these two and EZ. Wait a minute. No, bad idea. Select the edges. Sorry, not the vertices. So that edge and that edge. One. And then EZ. And then literally add a solidify modifier. I always shift and click and drag with these. And there's your door frame. And then you can add a bevel like this. And bevel is very useful. That's come out a bit strange. That's probably because none of the things have been applied, transformations. But you know, yeah, if you wanted to bevel that and that's not working, even if you could apply all transforms, I have a feeling that even if I apply all transforms to this, that behaviour is going to remain. So bevel, oh, it looks like it's worked a treat. It's worked a treat. Okay, so apply all the transforms. But what I was going to say is if it isn't working, you've put the bevel modifier on and it's just, you've got this tiny bevel that it doesn't matter how far right you go, it's not going to get any bigger. There's another way of doing it, and that's tabbing into edit mode, and then any edge that you want to bevel, which is going to be these guys. Did I select that? Have I got shift? Yeah. Okay, so I want those, because there is very, very little in life that has no bevel. It's just here to here, you know, a complete 45-degree switch, or 90-degree switch, sorry. 45, think about it, Nick. So that rarely happens. So there is likely a bevel on almost everything, even paper. So you select the edges that you're going to want to bevel, and we're also going to want to bevel these ones on the inside. And then press Control B, and then I never know which way it's going to go. Try that again. Control B. Wait, why isn't it's not working? Control. Hang on. Those two. The bevel's not working. I know why the bevel's not working. Because this is still a plane. If I turned off the solidify, it's a plane. You can't bevel an edge here. There's nothing to bevel onto. Silly Nick. So I need to apply the solidify, but you can only apply modifiers in object mode. So tab, apply. Now, let's do that again. So I want to, I doubt that, oh, a loop cut kind of works. A loop selection. So we're just selecting all of those edges like this. Come on. And now, when we press Control B, oh, didn't select that one. Did I do that one? I didn't select that one neither. The rest isn't important. So Control B. And then, again, I always tend to hold Shift. So you'll get the bevel that you want without needing the bevel modifier if all else fails. So I will do that. So 9 minutes, bugger. What else? Is there anything else? I can quickly just talk about it because I think that's the way I did all of it. So again, this is an array. You know what I did here? Just pulled it. I even was happy to leave those as really big points. The windows, I didn't even bother putting a frame around it, but you can see I loop cut 5 times there, pulled up the middle of the two to give it that shape without the requirement of a subdivision surface. Here I've cheated to make this look like, let me turn wireframe off, to make it look nice and curved from afar. You'll see that this is really simple box basically, and all the rest of it. So this is a separate object. I made this jinky janky thing, and that's an array, and I just duplicated it under here, made a doorway, you know. Anything else? These balconies, I've just put, again, 2 array modifiers and a plane like we just did with the door frames, likely from top view. I'd have made a plane and then extruded the edges along, made a loop cut here, and then extruded along here, and then done the same thing here, extruded along there, after giving it a solidify. So that's how they, and I'm sure, what have I done here? Have I actually cut them? I've cut them out the ass. They're proper. These things are because some of them need to go on the wall, so they need some kind of support. And I even cheated and used the same one twice. So this one's up on a wall, but smaller, but this one's a bit bigger. That's just a lot of cuts. Another array there, another array here, duplicated around the central axis. Here, this one looks terrible because I've got a subdivision surface on that because I wanted this to be very curved. But what I should have done, and what I would always normally do, is because I've added this subdivision surface, because I want this to be very round. There's not that many cuts actually, but in fact there's one. It's just with a subdiv off, it's just a triangle. But I just wanted it to be rounded off. But the consequences of subdividing something, especially with camel clock, because it's simple, it doesn't really do. It's just for textures that don't require soft rounded edges. But here, what I should do is I'm going to edit mode, and I'm gonna loop cut here and push that up, and then loop cut here and push that down, because you can see what the subdivision surface is doing now. I'm telling it you can only smooth between these 2 tiny spaced apart edges, and you can only smooth between these 2 very close edges. And this rounding here is because, as you can see, there's nothing between this edge and this edge, so it's effectively starting its curve from there all the way to there. So you've got to give it some more edges. So we'll put a loop cut there and a loop cut here, although that one wasn't so necessary. And now we have fixed, and actually another loop cut underneath probably, around there, and one at the top. Okay, so now then we've straightened that up. Okay, lovely. This one I think is quite obvious now. Array, solidified plane jobby, some cuts, very simple, simple geometry. As I say, I keep it as simple as possible wherever I can. I've cut 3 times, yeah. That's pretty much it. I think this one's just a cylinder, and I've just extruded around these edges. I've put a couple of loop cuts in, extruded them. You get the crack. Okay, so 13 minutes. Sorry. Well, you know what? It goes up to 15. So anything else? I don't even know what's happened here. That looks to me like I need to fix it. That's fine. That's just a position. The balcony. I think I manually placed these pillars, and then just made again a solidified plane extruded around. That looks like part of the geometry. Yep, I've just brought this out, just selected these faces along here, that kind of thing, extruded them, and then just pulled these points further out without some solidify, so you get this kind of curved edge to the balcony, or at least it looks very curved from afar. That, I think, is all the explanation that was required, just in case. I should have done this at the end of the last one, or before you go away and make your own, but hopefully that helps if you needed a bit more inspiration to make other different types of houses. And the next one we are going to start putting them in, so it's going to get exciting. Until then, bye bye.